Howdy, just wanted to do a quick little update to show the sort of overall status of Secret Keep. So just still working away on my prototype and kind of trying to get a whole lot of systems in. The idea of this game is that it's procedurally generated levels, but that they will come out of a sort of handcrafted big library of missions that will appear for the player depending on what they've done in the past leading them up to that point. So you'll be able to do things like thiefy things and magic stuff, fighting, and sort of a variety of missions for different factions in the world that stand for different kind of values and ideologies and things. So yeah, my sort of vision for the game is one where your game will be different than someone else's game, and an example of that is if we just jump out now and go to forfeit this mission. So this is just a very kind of rough placeholder mock-up of a mission select screen. So for example, I might come back from a mission where I'm like looting to, I'm like, maybe someone sent me to loot Lord Blood's vassals' castles, take away his money to weaken his position in the world. These bars could represent sort of their dominance or power in the world. Lord Blood, the dwarves, the necromancers, the goblins, or whoever I come up with to actually be the players in the world, the factions. And these other bars could be like your allegiance or relationship with that group. So the necromancers might be quite strong in the world, but we've not done any missions for them, and we actually do missions against them. So our relationship is very low. Goblins, we haven't worked with them either. Dwarves, we've done a bit of stuff with them. Lord Blood, we've actually worked with him. So maybe we're a little bit of a merciless player. We go in with Lord Blood's Machiavellian kind of somewhat mercenary ways, for example. And then you might be able to take missions based on our standing in the game, our scores, and our allegiances and things. We could have different missions pop up that play to those qualities that we have. So, you know, we could do something for Lord Blood and raid these dwarves and try to put one of Lord Blood's vassals, Baron Drelldragon, on the throne and get money for it and allegiance and sort of some might score, for example. You could do stuff for the necromancers and take out, you know, build up their army by sort of harvesting bodies for them. Maybe the necromancers are generous with giving you magical power, which you can't really get from these other factions. And maybe it also increases your fear, so you're a bit of a dark player, a bit of a sort of, you know, dark magic sort of player. Or you could do something for the dwarves. Maybe they don't really have any money to pay you, but you sort of earn compassion, for example. And you're, you know, if you like the dwarves and want to see them more dominant in the world, you can help them, for example. So these missions don't actually work. They're just sort of placeholders, and I'm just trying to nut out these parts of the game. But let's just jump back in. The main thing I've actually been working on, so you can see this has generated another random mission. There's a handful of islands with different things on them, and they will be generated based on properties given in by the mission type. Now, yeah, my thinking is that, you know, there might be, if you consider the game as sort of a campaign, you know, there might be, say, a total of, say, 200 missions that are in a sort of a library of missions, but to get into and access those missions, I'll head over to this castle over here and we'll do some looting. To access those missions, they would appear based on your actions and progress through the game. So effectively based on your sort of scores down a bunch of different dimensions. So if you become an accomplished thief player, you'll get more thiefy missions. And if you do a lot of missions for the dwarves, you'll get more dwarfy missions. So there's sort of different dimensions through which they'll unlock, based on your skills and your reputation, but also based on your allegiances and sort of who you want to side with, who do you want to support. And I think the big goal for me there is it's sort of like, what do you want to see in the world? How do you want to change the world? And you can choose missions and do things in the world. I just jumped out of our boat here. You can sort of choose who you want to support in the world, who you want to see sort of come to dominance, or if you want to get rid of certain factions, you can do that. And your game will come to reflect what you want the world to look like. That's my sort of big picture goal for it. So here we can see there's a coin purse. I'm going to grab that, hide from this guard guy. These guards have only got basic AI at the moment, but you know, they're sort of a lot of this stealthy, thiefy kind of stuff is inspired by the Thief games, which are some of my favorite games. Got some Thief placeholder sounds and things in here, like the guard voices and the blackjack sound, just while I get things working. So there's also kind of a night-day cycle and changing weather and stuff, which I'm still deciding quite how I'm going to use that in terms of pacing and things like that. So I'm stealing my loot here, and you know, effectively you could imagine if this is one of Lord Blood's vassals, you could come here and pinch 500 loot and weaken Lord Blood's standing in the world a little bit, because you've, you know, pinched some of the value in his kingdom. So I also want to get onto work supporting more types of items, like consumables, like food and potions and things. Lots to do. Hundreds, millions, billions of things to do. So these towers are also procedurally generated. I've just kind of got rough wall shapes and stairs and things in here. And these rooms are kind of currently very randomly placed. I want to impose more structure on them. Here's some more loot. Those gold bags are worth about 50, and the gold coins are worth just like 1 point. So now we've come out on top of this tower. Ooh, and dawn is coming. Oh, no, it's not. It's the moon's come up. So yeah, that gives you a little sense of what I'm building. I want it to be, you know, in the immersive sim sort of genre. Lots of kind of simulation going on. I want to really put a lot of work into the AI and have cool characters and sort of tense moments where the player's deciding between various different ways to tackle a situation, and that you can really sort of change the way the world looks. Let's jump back in our boat, go for a quick little sail. Let's have a look at this sunrise. I really like it when the world is quite pretty. The sun shining through the trees and places to explore. I'd like to have dungeons as well. I've got some basic dungeons working, but I need to do a lot of work before they're really playable. But they'll go underground, and you know, could potentially be small or quite large spaces. Alright, that's a little look at the game. Hope you enjoyed that, and there'll be more updates and stuff coming down the track.